Welcome to Abortion Ethics 101. This is lesson 7. I'm a physician and an ethicist. I teach in Switzerland, classes in session. And if you are just now joining, please go listen to the playlist first and we will wait right here. Because we've gone through quite a bit of material already. One fundamental aspect of abortion ethics that we have not yet gone through is what the duties of healthcare providers are. Because as we've seen, societies are deeply divided, and this also applies to professionals. Professionals are deeply divided on many of the issues that we've seen in our previous lessons. But professionals have professional duties. And the cornerstone, the bedrock of the ethics of any profession is that professionals must not abuse power. Professionals need power because power is just the ability to influence somebody else's future. And if you're a professional, if you're in a job that is done in service of someone else whom you are helping, you have to be able to influence their future, or what are you for? So you need power, but with power must come rules against abuses of power. And imposing your own view in a controversy to your patients, that is blatantly an abuse of power. So healthcare professionals cannot impose their views of abortion onto patients. And this has implications. For example, it should set limits on the right to conscientious objection. If I am a physician who knows how to perform abortions but is pro-life, and I see a patient who is asking for an abortion, I am allowed to not be the one to do it, to protect my own conscience. That's what conscientious objection is. But this right to protect my own conscience, although it matters, is not the most important right in the room, because the patient's access to care is the most important right in the room. This means that I'm only allowed to exit the situation if there is someone else who can replace me there. If I can refer my patient to a colleague who will go ahead and do the interruption to protect me from having to do it and ensuring that she gets the care she needs. Because otherwise, if I treated my conscience as more important, I would be imposing my view in a controversy, my view on abortion on my patient, and that is an abuse of power. Unfortunately, laws have not set that down everywhere in the same way. I live in Switzerland, where we do not have any federal law on conscientious objection, but we have cantonal laws. And in Geneva, where I live, we have such a law, and it does specify this limitation. It does set the limit and say that you can only conscientiously object as a physician if you can refer your patient without too much delay, without increasing their risk, basically, to someone else who will take your place and perform the procedure. It's, of course, not specific to abortion. It's just the example that springs to most people's minds, but it could also apply to other kinds of procedures. Notoriously, in the US, the rules around conscientious objection do not set such a limit. And this means that there are whole areas of the country where, even in the absence of abortion bans, they became inaccessible because too many physicians were objecting. And it wasn't necessarily only because of their personal conscience. Some of them were actually being actively intimidated. So this is a whole other chapter. But as regards abortion ethics, as a professional, you have the right to all the richness and complexity and ambivalence and depth of your own moral conscience, just like anyone else. What you do not have the right to, however, is to impose your views on your patients. Yeah.